up, everybody? Welcome to Call to Action Live on this Sunday night. We're here. We're ready to talk about some Schmodown. I'm loving that the chat is all against PLD right now, as they should be. It's quite amusing. So thank you guys for that. And joining me this evening, to my right, I have my lovely and talented Danielle. How are you doing?
Hello, everyone. I'm doing well. Thank you so much, Kelsey. Thank you for having me on Call Live. Happy Sunday, everyone. Happy Father's Day. Also, happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day, Paul Denuzio. Big happy Father's Day to everyone in the chat and everyone we know out there.
This is my favorite one. I just want to throw it out there right now. That I will take the blame for that. I'll take the blame for that, Robert.
And then down below, speaking of which, PLD, how are you doing this Father's Day?
I am doing wonderful. I found out that I'm really on brand. My kids all got me gifts for Father's Day. They all happen to be whiskey tumblers and shot glasses. I guess I'm on brand. I don't know. I must be raising them right, I think, or I'm raising them wrong. I don't know which way to go with that. But I'm going to go with right.
I say right. I think they know what they're doing.
And also, I have one more interesting story I should say. I'm going to lay it out there now. Not everyone knows I'm adopted. So I started this whole journey the other day where I'm learning about, I did like the Ancestry.com and Journey or 23andMe, and I'm finding these connections. I'm actually finding like my birth family in a way, not for any real reason. It was kind of like, I want to find out where I came from. But I also did this whole like genetics thing. And I found out something very scary for me. I'm admitting it live now. I grew up thinking that I was complete Italian because that's what my paper said. That's what my adoption paper said I was Italian. It turns out I am not Italian at all.
Dun, dun, dun.
You've been lying to us this whole time.
I've been lying to myself. I was lied to. It turns out I am mostly Irish. I'm Irish and English. The Jameson makes so much sense now.
It makes so much sense now.
I'm doing all this stupid fact, all these weird facts about myself. So
that is one of the greatest Easter eggs in the PLD history.
Finding out.
That's fascinating, but makes so much sense now.
I'm still Italian by as far as like my other family goes. So I was raised Italian. So I don't know if that counts still, but I'm going to go with it because I can't change paths now, you know. So.
I like this one.
Irish.
It's not wrong. Not wrong. There you go. Yeah.
Jameson. Yep. It all makes sense now. The world is lining up. We're like, okay, now it all makes sense. All right. Well, we have a lot to talk about. Schmodown has been very jam-packed the last few weeks. Last week we had a lot to talk about. We have a little less this week, but not by much. We still have a lot to talk about this week as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So I guess let's get started with it. Starting with the Damon versus Kemp match. IG. That was a fun match.
I'd give that a fun match. I was happy to see. I wanted to see where Alex Damon was because he had his match against Emily Rose, and he was good, but he didn't quite make it as far as I wasn't scared of him. I wasn't ready for him to take the next step yet. After this match, I'm a little more of a believer. I mean, he got that Star Trek. I mean, I'm jumping ahead already, but he got that Star Trek in the second round and swept it. Yeah. That's not the star we thought he was. So that's 3 categories now that we can be fearful of him. Star Wars, he's obviously Lord of the Rings, we know, and now Star Trek also seems to be a good strength. So he might be a serious contender at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. Starting with round 1, he was actually behind by a point, and so I'm like, okay, this is kind of what I was expecting from him. I've heard so many good things about him.
I'm sorry. We'll wipe the thread.
Chat.
I do like that one. Sorry.
That was a good one.
Oh my god.
Right, continue. Sorry.
Really quickly, I will say for round 1, Jen Kemp really held up her own. She's got a lot of hype going behind her. She's been a family darling for quite some time. She got to participate in the free-for-all last year. And I think that she's been pretty hyped up, but we got to see her perform, and I think that she performed very well for this match, especially going up against a champion. Like, Alex Damon is a belted champion, and she had him in round 1.
Yeah, she was up by 1 before when round 1 ended, so she had it. That's where you want to be. Round 2 is where the game was lost. Like, he got Star Trek, swept it. She got was it Wizarding World, I believe?
Wizarding World.
And she did okay.
She did okay. He stole one as well. He stole a point.
And that's a big steal. It's a big steal when you lose 20-18. It's a big steal.
Yep.
She kind of checked down a couple of times, multiple choice from her. So it wasn't actually, I don't know if it's out of strength of hers or maybe she needs to get a little more intense with that. But yeah, I mean, my outcome of the match to me was that at the end of the day, I'm thinking Jen has got some good base knowledge. She's just going to have to step up her game studying wise to take it to the next level as far as and that's only because Intergeekdom is such a intense league at the top tiers. I mean, she's a solid. Go ahead.
And when Alex and I were doing our reactions for these matches, when the Wizarding World came up, one of the things that Alex and I both agreed on was that this is a sneaky category that gives you deep cuts, and it's a little bit harder than most people think because a lot of us are fans of Harry Potter and feel strong naturally in Harry Potter just from watching the movies. But some of these Harry Potter questions that we had seen before had been some pretty deep cuts. So Alex and I were both in agreement that that's a sneaky category and that's a tough category. So she held up pretty well with it, and then we'll talk more about that category later on whenever we talk about another match this week.
Yeah, definitely.
Another thing about Wizarding World is it has come up a lot recently, a lot. So the questions are just getting deeper and deeper in that category. So I think she did well. She did better than me in that category when I was playing along. So, but yeah, we're definitely right. Round 2 changed the match. It went from one direction to the other, leading us to round 3, where she did have to answer all of her questions. She got 2 and 5-pointer incorrect and the 3-pointer correct. Damon only had to answer his 2-pointer.
Right.
Leading us to the 2018 score. So it was an interesting match. I learned a lot about both competitors while watching it, learning kind of where they need to study or what their skills are. Like you said, I was very pleasantly surprised with how well he did on Star Trek. We now know that is definitely a strength. So,
and as far as Jen goes, like I said, it's a solid debut. Yep. A solid debut. Great. I'm glad to see another female competitor make on a strong debut. She's got a lot of potential. She just knows now she's gonna have to tweak it a little bit, maybe just get a little more experience, and maybe that's all she needs. So I'm good. I'm happy to see her try again after the tournament's over, or to see her next match rather.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised to see a lot of people say that they weren't sure how Alex Damon was gonna do inside of this league after the champions match. We saw how well he did there. He did pretty well in that. And then he also did well in the Lord of the Rings match. So I as soon as I saw how well he performed in that match, I thought that he was going to be pretty good overall. And it just seemed like those are niche categories. Star Wars and Lord of the Rings, those are pretty deep cut categories for Intergeekdom. And I feel like if you can do well in those 2 categories, you have the potential to do well inside of the entire league. And then now, after watching Alex Damon just dominate that Star Trek category, I think he is definitely someone to look out for in this league. I think he's doing extremely well, and I don't think that anyone should just put it on the back burner just because he's also a Star Wars competitor.
Right. Yes, Chris has always been very pro Alex Damon and IG, and I get it, and he's starting to pay off for that. Yep. So it's going to be interesting to see because he's now going to be going up against Brandon Hanna.
Well, I know who I want to win that one.
Well, we want to win. Although it's kind of funny. I do want to say that I don't want to reveal my source because it was somebody said something backstage or behind the scenes. I don't know if they want this out there or not, so I'm not going to say who this was. But somebody said that to me, they think that Brandon Hanna is going to whoop his ass. And that was surprising to me that it was that strong. It was like this thing. It was like, kind of, who's going to win this? Brandon Hanna's going to whoop his ass because Brandon knows all this stuff. And I'm like, wow. So, I mean, it was an interesting perspective from someone behind the scenes. And I don't want to name names, but it seems like it's going to be an interesting to see. It's going to be a good test for where Alex Damon is at because Brandon's definitely in the top tier. At this point, he's not quite. He hasn't proved himself at the Smiths level, obviously yet. But he's definitely competitive with everybody up there. So now Alex Damon gets to that level. It's going to be very interesting to see how that match goes down. Yeah,
I'm very interested to see. I think it's going to be a very good match. I I think we're underestimating Danielle, but after watching this match, I think it's going to be a little bit closer than that. But I do also, unfortunately, kind of see the Hitman winning that one as well. So.
No, I actually didn't say he handled Pizzazz. I didn't say that. I'm just saying that someone else said that. But yeah. Go ahead, Danny. What do you think about it?
I still kind of have Alex Damon on this. I think this is going to be a big test for Brandon as well. This is one of those matches that I wish we could have seen in studio, just because of storyline aspects for it. Like Brandon Hanna's, he is just burning bridges left and right, like just totally getting on a lot of people's nerves, like just.
Fucking Brandon. Yeah.
It's so difficult sometimes to talk about Brandon because it's just a sore subject, and I don't want I don't want him to just be comfortable inside of his house. Like I wish that it could have been something that we could have seen in studio, like Damon right there in front of Hannah, and because I feel like Hannah's gonna try to get away with saying some quips that he wouldn't in person.
Right.
So
I can see that.
There's a lot of stuff like that about this match that would have been fun if it would have been in studio, but I'm still really excited about it, and I don't want to put I still have all of my bet on Alex Damon. I think Damon's going to take this one.
I'm actually very interested to see how Alex Damon handles like shit talking or anything. Because he hasn't ever faced anybody that really did anything more but basically be respectful and let's play the game. Brian's going to talk some shit. I don't know either way how he's going to handle it. I don't know if he's going to handle it good or not. I've never seen him try. But I'm definitely interested to see if that affects him at all or if it gets into his head. Because no competitors can get in their head sometimes. And I know that Alex Damon, I have seen myself that in IG, he gets a little more, like he's so knowledgeable in Star Wars. So he just is like, yeah, I got this. IG, he has to struggle a little bit more for it. He does. He goes like, there's a couple of times I kind of sell him a little bit. Like, I wonder if something's there to poke the bear, so to speak, if that will have any effect. I don't know, but I'm very interested to see.
Yeah, me too. Absolutely, I'm very excited for that match. That's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be fun.
All right, ready to talk about the next one?
Sure.
All right, that was not the next one. There we go. So we have Janine versus Humphreys, which was also a very entertaining match. I love Janine. She is such a sweetheart, and Humphreys is so funny that I just love seeing either of them competing. And so I had fun with this match.
I love Janine. You know I love Janine. And I always I feel like she's in a no-win situation. She could have the best game in her life, and somebody's going to find fault with it. So I just feel that way with her. It was a great match. It was a great match. She swept, or not swept. She got 9 out of 10 in the first round.
9 out of 10 in the first round. Yeah, she did great.
I mean, she happened to run it again. It was round 2. She ran into a little bit of buzzsaw. Humphreys took Wizarding Worlds, and he swept the round. And when somebody sweeps the round, it makes them tough to beat. No matter who you are, no matter who you are. So Janine, when she got Star Trek and then spun to get DCU, she didn't do horribly with it, but she did have to check down a few times, and there was the one steal again. But she plays so well. She has such a great personality, great character work. I loved her video before.
I did too. I love it.
Right? It was so good.
Queen of TikTok. I love her so much.
Got a great TikTok.
She has to deal with a lot of people like giving her shit afterwards. It's like, dude, just
yeah. There's not there. That shit really, really sucks to see and to hear in the community. Like, there's a lot of times where we feel like as a community we've grown forward past the dark ages. I think a lot of people who have been around Schmodown for a long time know exactly what I'm talking about. Like when it was just like a free for all against women, any woman that played in the Schmodown, and I really thought that we overcame some stuff like that. So it's really sad to see that it's still out there, especially with someone who has been nothing but committed to the Schmodown and committed to the entertainment value and like committed to the fans. And just it's such a bummer to see. Like no one should try to be rude to any of the competitors that are inside of the Schmodown, let alone the women that are inside of the Schmodown, because they definitely do have to put up with a lot more bullshit than other people do. So just don't be shitty to people online, guys.
Yeah.
Like
good life lesson. Don't be shitty.
Our friend Abby Friel said that best on Twitter. She said that like when a woman loses, they get picked apart so much more. Men can have a shitty match, and then people are just like, whatever, it's a bad match, they move on.
Mm-hmm.
But the women get picked on a whole lot more about it. It's not fair.
It is
and they
not
have to deal with a lot more. They have to deal with the bullshit. It just makes me mad. Especially if someone as sweet as, I mean, she's one of the sweetest people I know, and she's awesome. So
she's awesome.
And she's so committed and so passionate. That's the kind of person you want in this program. You don't want someone who's like, oh, fuck. You want someone who's going to try, someone who's going to give you entertainment value. She's going to give you the entrances. She knows her stuff. And she even said that she didn't have as much time. This is her first time in Inner Kingdom.
Yeah, exactly.
She had to make, she had to study. She chose her, I guess she had like a month or so to study. And she even said that one of the reasons she didn't do as well in DCEU. She didn't study for that as much because she had bigger holes in her knowledge base that she wanted to fill, and it just didn't come around to it. Now she knows she needs to go back and get some DCEU, and I think she could do really well in Inner Kingdom in the future.
Me too.
Again, she just, it's just, I don't know.
And I'm like a major DCU fan, and I watch them all the time, and I didn't know the answers. So several of her DCU questions, they were pretty deep. They really were.
Comparative, especially I mean the Wizarding World questions that I forgot were I don't want to say they were easy, but they were easier. I thought. I mean, I know Wizarding World pretty well. I know DCU pretty well as well. So I mean, I thought that her questions were a touch hard. I always hate saying that though, because I don't want to blame the questions, because it always seems like you blame a match on the questions. It's just a downward spiral. I know all the question writers work their asses off, and always you're going to get some questions that are harder, some questions that are easier. It all evens out in the end eventually. You can just look at these one match and you're like, oh, this question was awful. Yeah, but sometimes Jeannie will probably get an easier question later on. It all does even out.
That's the thing. It's just random. Like we've said this before. A lot of people have said this before. Janine has pretty bad luck when it comes to Schmodown. It's just the luck of those questions being the ones that came up is just, because there are way more surface level DCU questions that could have came up, and she could have just totally destroyed that category. It's just, and also like the chat was mentioning too, it's a little ahead of us, but her 5 point was also DCEU, and I don't even think they mentioned that in the movie. I watched Suicide Squad how many times? Who is Christopher Weiss's real character name? Yes. I don't think they call him by his real name once in the movie. Maybe on his no, they don't do his sheet either in the movie, like the book. So I think that's just a background knowledge thing that's not actually in the movie.
It could be. I totally whipped the movie from my mind. I only watched the trailer now.
I have probably watched that movie 50 times, and I knew that question from background knowledge, not from the movie.
I didn't know that question.
So that was a rough one.
Yeah. Nothing to say about that. Not sure if the answer you do, the answer you don't. Some answers you hear in the movie. It's what it is.
Yeah.
So,
but John Humphreys did really well with the Wizarding World. To sweep it the way that he did, I think is something that that I kind of want to point out, because
absolutely
the first few matches, or the past few matches that I've seen before, I felt like those Harry Potter questions were some really deep cut questions that were really hard. So to see someone dominate that category and do so well in that category, I do think that those questions were a little bit on the easier side than some of the other Harry Potter questions that I've seen before.
Yeah.
But I do think that, like, if you have one of those categories down, like I was saying earlier with Alex Damon, if you have 1 to 3 of the main categories and intergeek them down, I feel like you can do well overall in those tournaments, because more than likely you can fall onto those main 3, like Star Wars, Harry Potter, and one of the comic books, DCEU or MCU. So if you're strong in either of those categories, you're more than likely going to do well overall in Intergeekdom. Just in my opinion, y'all. Just how I've seen it. I don't do stats, so it's not a scientific breakdown. It's just how I've seen it. But
you're more the tarot card. You're more the tarot card girl.
Yeah. It's me tarot carding this. Absolutely. So I think watching John Humphreys in this match and watching him in stuff that he's done before just kind of goes to show that he might be a silent threat that some people should be on the lookout for. He might do well in this whole tournament.
John Humphreys has had that dreaded inconsistent tag, I think is what it is. He had first of all, the Real Rejects did not do well the first. I mean, and when they first started, they had the 2-5 record. They never seemed to win. He had that great run in the free for all that everybody kind of woke up to him. The Rejects kind of had a couple of good matches where they've come back recently. But Humphrey never came out. But this was a good match for Humphrey. Again, it's to the point where he missed a few too many in round 1 to make me think is a legitimate threat to Kevin Smith's belt. It kind of comes down to this. You have the IG players, you have the IG mid tier. They can hang, they can give an entertaining match, they'll be around, they're good to watch. And then there's that next tier up. He's kind of in that middle tier, I think, still, maybe on the higher end at this point. He'd have to do a lot more in-depth studying to get to that next level at this point.
Yeah, I'm not saying that he's going to come in here and beat Mike Kalinowski or anything like that, but I do think that he could have the potential to go pretty far into this tournament and maybe even pull some upsets into something.
Well, I would agree with you, but his next match is against the Barbarian, and I think
then I'm so sorry.
Yeah, there's the category we like to call scary, and that's
Barbarian is very scary. So I think John Humphreys. I think your match will stop here. Your turning run will stop.
That would be an upset.
That would be a major upset.
That would be an upset.
I mean, I think John Humphrey could at least hang for a while. I'm not sure we knock up, but I think at the end of the day he's gonna lose to Craig, the Barbarian.
Yeah. All right, we do have a stream lab that came in, so I'll read it real quick. From Brandon Buck, donated, said, so this past week on Backstage, Roka let it slip that Smets has been doing very well in his play-alongs, so who will have both his Star Wars and IG belt first, Smets or Damon? I'm always Team Smets.
So here's the thing. Here's the argument. The argument you have is that it's either going to be, Damon has put his foot in the IG at least already, so he's already making that run for it.
Yeah.
So that hasn't even started in Star Wars yet. So
right.
We don't know. And plus, let's say what we said before. It's always easy to play along and do well. But when you get into the real thing, against the people like Laura Kelly, against the people like Dumalata, and then against Damon, it's kind of another level. And I'm not doubting Smets because Lord knows Smets has an IG, has a study routine like no other, and there's less Star Wars movies than there are IG movies. What the funny thing is, even after I'm saying all that, I still think Smets might be the first one to do it. Because I don't think Damon can get to Smets' level in IG, whereas I think Smets can study and get to that Star Wars level that Damon has. Because he's a big Star Wars fan anyway.
I definitely agree. Obviously, I'm going to go with Kevin. I believe Kevin will get there before Alex. But do I think that would actually ever happen? No, I don't. I think that there are way too many people that are hungry in both tournaments. Like Andrew and Laura are fighting, and Molly are fighting and everyone who is playing, and Dress even are fighting for that Star Wars belt. So there's always going to be someone super hungry. And then on the Inner Geekdom side, like Kalinowski is not just going to let anyone else randomly come in from a different league and try to take his belt. Mike's not going to let anyone do that. And then with Robert Parker on the run that he's doing, trying to prove himself, coming up from the fan leagues, showing what the fan leagues has, we all know how well he's doing. And then Paulo Yama putting his belt in that ring, also trying to get another belt back. There's too much going on inside both leagues to think that either one of them could actually be double belted. But if I had to think, if I had to think about it, of course I'm gonna say Kevin. Yeah.
So all that I guess I was trying to be devil's advocate, but I still go with Kevin too. And I also think that John Roca has no chance of beating Kevin Smets in Star Wars. So if that
I don't think so either. Sorry, John.
Right, John. I think actually John knows that too. He just likes to play the game, so to speak. Yeah. So yeah. I guess that's a good question. That's a good point. Dean says it's going to depend on how much Damon still cares about the Star Wars belt after defending it. I think he cares about the Star Wars belt more than anything because that's his bread and butter. He loves Star Wars more than anything else. I think the IG is kind of like I think the IG is almost like I'm bored defending Star Wars. Let's see what else I can do in IG at this point.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that he's still just as motivated in Star Wars as ever. If anything, I feel like he would needs to prove that he can do both, if that makes sense. So he's not going to let one slide for the other because, you know what I mean? So
especially if he wants to keep it. There are too many people coming after that belt.
Yeah, there's scary people coming after that belt that he needs.
Strong people that can absolutely contend for it. Like his own wife, potentially. So you can't just, So
piss me, lose.
Great question, Brandon. Thank you so much.
So, anything else on that one, Kels?
I can't think of anything.
Oh, you know what I do? I do want to say something actually, real quick. I want to bring up. I love Sam Levine as manager. I love his promos and stuff. He just is so positive about his team. Yeah. He just sits there and is like, "This is what's going on," and this is the best. I get so hyped up listening to him. I think he's a great manager. I like what he does. That animal crackers.
Yum.
Yum. But so I just want to mention that. I wouldn't point specifically that I did like Sam Levine as managing.
He's a gem. They had a rough week this week, but yet he's still just so much positivity afterwards. Like, you know what? You did your best. I'm so proud of you. Like that's the kind of talk I would need if the match didn't go my way. So good on Sam.
And I like Koi as well. I love Koi. I always love Koi. So.
Absolutely. I don't think Sam gets as much praise for manager as much. I think a lot of the talks that we hear are always going to be Dagnino, Kaiser, and Roxy. Like those are usually the three names that we hear whenever we're talking about great managers. And I think Sam's name doesn't really get put around that too much. But I especially after what happened with this past week with both of his Inner Geekdom players out of the tournament. Listening to what he was saying about his players and how he has their back, I think was a good thing to see.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So just throwing that out there. So
yeah, absolutely.
What a bummer, though. Usual suspects out of the IG tournament.
Yeah.
We're not forgetting about
Bateman for those points in the Star Wars, and I think that they will do really well. So.
Yes. We could talk about all the managers in different ways. We're just she wasn't there this week, so I was talking about it. Yes, I guess we know. All the managers have been good in their own ways.
Yeah, I mean, y'all know that Winston's my personal favorite manager, so don't try to come into the chat with all of that nonsense. I'm just usually whenever you hear people talk about managers, it's usually Dagnino, Roxy, and
Shannon.
Yeah.
But don't make Danny sign into her swag account. And go run to chat. She will. Because she absolutely will.
Chat.
Speaking of swag, are we ready to move on to our final match of the week? Or just final thought? All right.
Yeah, let's do it. Do it.
All right. So Star Wars.
That actually happened. You got your phone and texted. And there it comes. I'm starting to believe it actually is you.
I'm starting to too.
I'm starting to believe it is you.
It might be.
I honestly, I'm telling you the chat right now. I honestly don't know. I have no idea. And I'm starting to do it.
I can neither confirm nor deny allegations that are being thrown upon me. Anyway, Woo! Star Wars.
Knapsack versus Cabrera. Ken versus Ace. Oh my gosh. I had a lot of fun with this match, and I was right, which is always nice.
I'm pretty sure that I was right about this match also. Yeah,
I was right. I was right like 3 weeks ago. I bought into the hype a little bit. The scrimmage shot made me buy into the hype. I kind of thought Ken had enough base knowledge to do it, but he did. Yes. It is true, and I told her to do it. Mm-hmm. Like I did pay her to do it, so technically speaking, yes, PLD. This is exactly what I thought was going to go down 3 weeks ago. I did kind of buy into it for a bit, and I wanted to see, I guess part of me wants to see Ken continue because I love Ken, and I love Ken's promos, and he's always a great Star Wars competitor. I love hearing him talk about Star Wars. I think he just doesn't want it. He doesn't want it. And that's okay. That's not a big deal. He's been there. He's been a champion. He's always someone you can throw out there because he does have enough base knowledge to put up a challenge or to put up a fight or whatever. But it seems like Ace is just a little hungry, I think. Mm-hmm. I remember what happened is, from what I've heard, is that he chose Rogue One, and I guess from what I've heard, again, I don't remember where I heard this from myself, I think, but he was like he actually had been studying, but they didn't study Rogue One really in depth, and yet when it came up in round 2, he took it anyway. That's ballsy, I guess, but maybe it would have been better for him to spin away at that point. I don't know. But Ace did good. Again, I will say that Ace, much like the IG, I don't think Ace is quite on that top tier level. I think he's going to have a very difficult time fighting Laura Kelly.
Or Kelly.
Or facing a Demelana or like that, either of them. Or I don't know. I just don't think Ace has quite, because he had to check down a few too many times. He didn't seem to know like Demelana was perfect all the way throughout, and I think Laura Kelly was pretty close. He had to check down once. You got to be perfect to be competing for the belt at this point, and Ace isn't quite there yet.
Yeah, I agree. After round 1, Epsock was at 6 and Ace was at 7, so that's already lower than what Laura and Demelana are both going to be. So
if that happens, if Ace puts a pull to 7 against Laura Kelly, it's already over.
It's over.
Yeah. And I think that Ace knows that going into these next 2 matches that are coming up. You can't miss. You cannot miss in round 1. There's, at this point with the competition that's going on, you absolutely cannot miss anything. So I'd really like to see how well Ace does against Laura Kelly, but you have to come with like a superior A game, because Laura Kelly is on her A game, and she's not only crushing it in trivia, but she's crushing it like with her promos. She's killing it. So I am super excited to see that match coming up.
In one match, she made me a believer, because I remember when she played her matches before against Demelana, she beat Demelana, but then she had that very, I can't beat Damon. It's going to be it was a very scared sounding promo. She played spectacular match. She played fine and spectacular, but she kind of felt like, she was like not the confidence wasn't
the confidence, yeah.
And that's all gone.
Then all of a sudden, it was like, boom. And I'm going to have to talk to her about this tomorrow, definitely. Cheap plug. I talked to her too. I'm
plugging that a lot.
I want to see if this was partially Shannon's doing, it was partially Christian's talking to her. No, Christian kind of called her out for it. The same thing. And she just went dark side, and she just turned it up, and it was kind of like a totally different Laura. And that match, the same thing. I don't know, maybe because she was at home, comfortable. She just seemed like a cold-blooded killer at that point. I'm not sure what happened, but she's Sith. She's ready to go, and she's. I think she's a lock to beat Ace. If I pick Ace, she's got a lock to beat Ace.
Well, maybe it's because she finally picked the right side. Jedi, Sith. It's the side you should probably be on. So it's like.
But then again, Demelana. So that's the next step. So.
Yeah, we'll see.
That's gonna be.
Either one of them. I think is gonna win it.
Oh, yeah, and I'm already looking past Ace. I feel bad looking past Ace. I'm already looking forward to the Laura Andrew match.
Yeah, that's what I see happening too.
Oh, Danny, what do you think?
I don't know. I think Andrew is really hungry, and I think he's got a lot of fight in him. And as much as I would love to see Molly Damon, Laura Kelly, and final, that would be great. I think Andrew's got. I think. I don't know. I just feel like you can't deny Andrew anything. He's got so much hope in him. That's the story that I want to see. I want to see Andrew do so well in this tournament.
Well, I was going to say, and I guess we'll talk about it more since we're going to get into the next week's match, ever. But I predicted back when the tournament began, I predicted Andrew wanted it more than anybody. I did worry that he might want it too much, and that it might kick himself a little bit. He might overthink it a little bit and get too much in his head. But after watching him against Scrimshaw, I'm not worried anymore. No. I'm not worried. He's just not only does he want it, it's not like a inside the head. It's just basically he's locked in. He knows what to do. He's ready to go.
I think what's important also to if you go back and you look at Andrew's and Joseph's match, Andrew played the game well. Not only did he have that trivia down, he also played the game well. He held off on calling a challenge and used a challenge later on where I think was very, very smart for him to do, because at this point when it comes to Star Wars, in my opinion, it comes down to technicalities from now on. Like, that's just how the game is going to be played, because all of these people who are in there at this point know it from to back. We've seen them answer these questions. We know how well they can do playing the game. So it really is going to come down to these challenges and actual schmodown smart gameplay. And I think that that's what was important to take away from Andrew's match also, is that he knows how to play the game. And I think that that's why you cannot discredit Andrew in any sort of way. He's going to know when to challenge if he needs to, and he's going to know how to word a question to make sure that it wouldn't be challenged.
You're absolutely right. And actually, something you bring up, because you mentioned the challenge, and I know when he thought about the challenge, you can see in his face he was thinking about challenging, and I know exactly what he was going to challenge. But I also know, like he did, and I think he came to the same conclusion that I did, was that the challenge was an acceptable challenge, but he wouldn't have won it. He would have won the challenge. I believe it was like a question about the answer was red leader, but technically he's red 1. Technically he has a name. But he wouldn't have gotten that because he was called red leader at some point too. So he wouldn't have won. I think he knew that. But he saved it, and that's what got him the game, because then all of a sudden he could challenge again, and he could challenge a more challengeable question.
Yeah, and I think that that's important to note also, because sometimes you can challenge for a challenge sake, just to kind of throw off, even if you like what we've seen Ben Bateman do with challenges before, where he just kind of throws them out to throw off a competitor. But we all got to see that. I love this game so much that he wanted to challenge it, but he was smart about the challenge, and that's where this game has evolved, and that's where it's turned into such a smarter game, and that's where that's why the Star Wars tournament is such a tricky tournament, because you have to be that stinking technical with it.
Right. And like I said, because there are times when challenging for challenging's sake, just to throw someone off, just to throw their momentum off, is a very valid way to challenge sometimes. And sometimes it's even if you know you're going to lose a challenge, it is still good to challenge. But you got to know when that is a good thing and when it's not a good thing. And the time against Scrimshaw, when they're both perfect, that's not because you need every possible advantage and need every possible challenge. Or you want to stop somebody, it's just a different story. So it's knowing when to use a challenge, when to use a good challenge, when to use a momentum stopping challenge, when you want to try to bullshit challenge, and then when you need to save it. And he knew that. He did well with that.
Yep.
That's all Dagdino, the greatest manager, whoever
utilize those challenges.
All Dagdino's tutelage.
Is it?
That's what it is. It's all Dagdino, the greatest manager that ever existed, according to, considering he has 3 times.
So my little analogy for the exchange when it comes to manager talk like this, some people might come from my head after this statement, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Okay. Think of Wizard of Oz. Tom Dagnino is the big green face that's out there, and Ben Bateman is the man behind the curtain.
Saying that Ben cut his hand up Dagnino's ass and the puppet, basically. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. Like you're saying. I don't know. I've joined the Gucci verse. I have spent some quality time with Dagnino over the last couple of weeks, and he has a lot more involvement than I ever thought that he did. I've learned a lot. So don't underestimate Dagnino.
I don't underestimate Dagnino. Don't underestimate Roxy as well. Some people underestimate Roxy. I think some people don't. I think a lot of managers get underestimated for the wrong reasons. So
I do too.
But going back to the Star Wars match again, now that Ken is out, is he the definitive stepping in to be the manager now from Burning Drews? Or is it Brandon Hanna, who had a debut and a half
performance as a manager?
The funniest thing I gotta say, I'm gonna say this right now. If he hadn't stabbed us in the back, if he had to toss us under the table, we would have been laughing our asses off at the performance. But now that we hate him, it was a dog shit performance and we can't stand him. God damn it.
No, I think I would have criticized this even if he was on our side, because honey boy, sweet, dear, old, sweet, big dummy Brandon Hanna My old sweet little honey pies. What are you doing? I'm so like that was such a shit show of a performance as a manager. Like I hated it.
He spent more time talking about himself than his competitor.
You, Brittany.
That's part about it was Ken's reaction to it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was Ken's face scene every time Brandon opened his mouth. fair point.
Brandon making this pitch to be the manager of the Burning Drew, because I don't think it's going to go in his favor because he doesn't quite have the tact you need to be a manager.
Yeah, people should care more about your competitors than yourself, and I don't think he's capable of that at the moment. His ego is just too big. So
I did laugh, but I'm not supposed to laugh at a manager. So.
I think all of the competitors in the Droogs should strike.
If Hannah was a manager.
If Hannah's their manager, I think they should strike.
I
mean, stay on the team, Brandon, and compete if you want to. But Alex Damon is going to beat you in the next round anyway.
Hey, Mike, good to see you. Good to see you.
Mike.
Chat. Love that. I do think it's going to be the Knights of Ken. That's my thought.
I think so too.
It'll be interesting to see.
The name if they get a different manager.
I don't know if they're going to change their name or not. I haven't decided that. I haven't decided whether I want them to or for. I think I'd like to see it because at least let the manager make his own stamp on the league. I mean, it doesn't really matter what their name is at this point. So I'd say let them change it if they want and go with the Knights of Ken if it's Ken. But Ken, where he doesn't maybe care about performing, competing as much. He does care about his performance. Like his promo is fucking gold. So if we can get more of that out of Ken,
I agree. As a manager, Ken shines so bright, and I would love it if he became the manager of them for sure.
Yeah. So, and then it'll be interesting to see Ken manage Brandon in the next match.
Yeah,
turn out fair play.
Put him in his place as he needs.
I'll have to say.
I feel like anyone can put him in his place, it's Ken. So do us all a favor, Ken.
I'm sad that Ken's out. I am sad that Ken's out. Anytime I can get Ken Knapsack on my screen, I'm a happy guy.
Yeah,
so, you know what I mean.
Me too. Big Ken fan.
Yep.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate that. Always appreciate that.
Any final thoughts on the actual match itself, or good on to speculate things, or?
I think we're good. We can talk about we can speculate about next week's match, maybe next week matches.
Yep. Cool.
Before we talk about also, I should tease that. I think we're gonna get into the singles tournament as well a little bit. Maybe have a little bit of fun with that.
I figured.
So, but we'll start with the match.
Cool. All right. So what's happening next week, Danielle? You have the schedule pulled up.
I do. So next week, starting on Monday for Schmodown patrons, $10 and up patrons, you get the Inner Geekdom tournament or Inner Geekdom round 1 match that pops. It's Emily Rose Jacobson versus Eric Zipper. So that's going to drop on Monday for 10, Tuesday for all or 5, and then Thursday public. And then on Wednesday, we are getting our Star Wars tournament on Twitch. Do y'all want to talk about the Emily Rose Eric first before we move on?
Yeah, so let's go one at a time. Yeah. I think it's better to go into that first.
Yeah.
I'm excited mostly for Zipper.
Me too.
Emily Rose, I love Emily Rose as a person. She seems like such a sweet girl. She's a sweet person. She has some great knowledge as well, and maybe she's helped some studying from the FinStock Exchange. Who knows? But she's one of those people at this point has not wowed me into thinking she's going to make any kind of presence as far as the tournament goes, as far as the real IG goes. I like who she is as a person. She's fun, but I think Zipper is going to be the one who wins this match because Zipper, again. I gotta see it to believe it kind of thing. But if everything that is being talked about is happening, with him like training with Smets and Parker and Kaiser kicking him in the ass, and I mean, let's face it, he's one of those guys that has had an inconsistent label for a reason too. He's always seems like he's on the cusp of greatness, and then some bad luck kind of threw him off his mark or whatever. So I'd like to see him make a mark at least for the tournament, even if he doesn't quite win the whole thing. So I do think Zipper's going to win. I want to see him win. I loved having him on Call Live.
I did too.
Weeks ago. He's a great person to have. try to get him on chill at some point too.
Yes.
But I want to see him do really well. I think we will. I think he will. I think he's got
do
this.
too. I think he's hungrier than she is. I think she enjoys playing. It's more of a casual thing for her, I think. And the dude wants it. You know what I mean? I do think that makes a difference. I feel like your motivation to play does affect your gameplay. So I do also think Zipper is going to have it. I think it's going to not be like a landslide match. I think she is a very solid player. But I think he's going to pull the win.
I agree.
Yeah, I would love to see Emily Rose go as far as she can. I want to see women go as far as they can throughout this whole thing. But like, just as an overall fan of the Schmodown and just as someone who's watched Eric Zipper and who's been a fan of Eric Zipper since he's been in it, I really want to see him do well. I've always felt like Eric also gets kind of put into the same boat as like Janine. Like, they're always just kind of like right there, and you know that they're great players and you know that they know this game and they're fun to watch and all of that stuff, but they're just never ever really get their turn. And I would just like to see Eric get his turn. I want to see him do well, and I believe that he can do well, and especially for the dungeon. So
yeah, absolutely. Go Zipper.
This dungeon needs some points.
That as well.
IG. That's what I mean.
As well.
Some points. They are dead last right now in faction standings, and that is unfortunate because we all know that they have some pretty great people on their teams, but they just haven't played. They haven't played as many matches as other teams have, but they've just had some bad luck in the matches that they have played.
Yep. They have a lot of talent. They have a lot of talent on the dungeon, but just a lot of it's top heavy with the IG. It's matches the champion can't play, hasn't played all year because he can't play against he can't play a match. Right. You got Parker, who's only had the one match. That's what they're figuring. They have players. It's just they have to play. They have to play, and they have to get consistent playing. So I have to see how that goes for them. But they definitely could use a win, and I think they'll get one.
I think so too.
Yep. And then after that, on Wednesday, we do have the Star Wars match premiering on Twitch. Twitch is super easy, y'all. Get it. I know that there are still a few people who are not down with the whole system, but it's totally fine. It's not too bad. I was not a big fan of it whenever it first started, but I have very much grown to it and I like it. It's fine for me. I have adjusted. I hope you all do as well. But next Wednesday we do have the Molly Damon versus Andrew DiMolanta match. And I am super, super pumped for that because this is the head scratcher match. Like, I'm not sure where this one is going to go because it really, really can go either way. It'll be really fun for the storyline to see Molly Damon versus Alex Damon at the end of the day. I would also love to see Molly Damon versus Laura Kelly in the finals. But like I said earlier, I think Andrew is really hungry, and I think that he has a lot of really great people in his faction that have his back and that have trained him well and that have given him the best advice that they can give him. That's nothing to say about the usual suspects because Sam and Rachel on that faction can definitely give the best advice because those are two champions that know how to play the game and that are extremely knowledgeable inside of the game. So this match is going to be really interesting to watch overall. And as I think for me personally, as much as I would love to see Laura Kelly versus Molly Damon, I think I'm going to pull for Andrew DiMolanta for this one.
I have Andrew DiMolanta winning this hands down.
I do as well. I don't think it's going to be close.
I enjoy Molly Damon. I think she has the Star Wars knowledge. I think she and Alex Damon probably studied together and they work together all the time. And she has the knowledge. From her match I've seen, I feel like she has a little bit of an issue with recall, though, as far as like trivia goes. Like I think she knows the answers. I don't think she can quite pull them in the time necessary needed or at the drop of a hat. And at this point, again, like in Star Wars, you need to be perfect, pretty much. You personally need to be perfect if you're going to have it. And Holly Molly can be perfect. So I think she's going to lose significantly. Not gonna knock out her TKO or anything like that. I mean, she'll hang in there, but I think that she's gonna miss around one question or so, maybe two. She'll have to check down a multiple choice in round two. Maybe miss a 3-point. Like, I just think there's not enough there. I think Milan is gonna. I think there's not gonna be any doubt. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. I feel like he's got it. After watching both of their previous matches that we just had, I could see a TKO happening. I don't think necessarily it's going to happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if it did.
I wouldn't either.
And so I do think Demolana has it. But I mean, I want Damon to do well. I love my ladies in Star Wars. Laura versus her would be fantastic. But Demolana has gotten scary since last time we saw him. Like it's a whole new. Andrew's a whole new beast coming around this tournament, and I don't think most competitors have what it takes to beat him right now.
I absolutely agree. Hot take for sure. I don't think that it's going to be anywhere near TKO. I think it's going to go into overtime. I think they're going to have to go into overtime questions. I think that this match is going to be that great that we're going to see quite a few over and the same way. That's how I feel all of Andrew's matches are going to go. All of Andrew's matches are going to go into overtime to where they're going to have to ask all of these round one questions just like that, and it's going to end up in a technicality the same way because I think at this point everyone's caliber for this league is up there. So I'm not going to put anything against Molly Damon. I think that she's done really well. So that's just where I think it's going to go into overtime.
I have nothing against Molly Damon. I think she's a great person. She's a great competitor. I think she'll do well in the league. I just don't think she's ready yet. And yeah, so that's it. I think, I just think Demolana is just so fucking locked in.
Yeah. See, that's why I think it's going to be Demolana versus Kelly. And I think that they're both so driven, and so it's going to be an amazing match. It's going to go into super overtime, and really, I think what's going to determine who wins is going to be how questions go, if there's challenges, how the challenges get ruled, and then like one word, just like it was with Scrimshaw. That is how it's going to be, and I think it can go either way. I'm slightly in favor of Demolanta, but it could go either way. That's how I
100% agree. 100% agree.
So. Absolutely, I do too. I do too. And then going into Friday, I'm super excited about this match, y'all. This is a match that I've been waiting for quite some time. It is going to be another round one in the Inner Geekdom tournament. It is Chance Ellison versus Paul Oyama.
So ready for this match.
I'm so excited for this one.
I don't even know who to pick. I go back and forth every day. I don't remember who I picked last. I determined I don't even remember who I picked. I think I picked Chance, but I go back and forth in my mind every single time. And the only reason I picked Chance is because Chance has had an IG experience before. It's the only reason why, because I think it was I needed something to lay a pick on. I could see Paul winning it. I could see Chance winning it. Either or. They're both such great competitors, and they're both such great people. Yes, I love Chance Ellison.
I love them both so much.
And I love Paul Oyama. We've had great conversations off air and behind the scenes, and they're really good, solid people. They're really good, solid dudes. And they really both love the Schmodown and want to win. And when you put them against each other, it's an extra added. They want to beat the hell out of each other. They have that
old rivalry going there and everything. It's going to be such a good match.
So I can't wait to see this one myself. I could tell you I could pick Chance right now, and maybe before the show's over, I might switch to Paul. That's how close this was going to be. I could see either one winning. So I can't. I don't know.
I know this one's super hard for me. I am going to go with Chance strictly because just from my personal knowledge and talking with Chance, like I've been out to dinner with him where someone is asking him a trivia question while we're having a conversation, and then so he's doing both, and then he'll just pop up the question like that. Like that's just like the way he's able to pull things. It's impressive. So I would never doubt Chance. So.
Well, he also is the one who's been basically carrying. I shouldn't get carrying. Not carrying. He's been the A player of corruption this year. Like he's been the one that last year, Mike was the A player and James was like the secondary. I feel like it's switched, but Chances he's helped them to victory so much in the two matches they've had. I think he's so hungry. I don't know. I have to see. Also, have to see how Paul gets reacting to. I'd say a solo match. I mean, he had some issues obviously last year. He lost to Roca this year, so I don't know if it's in singles or. I mean, it's IG. I know, but he have that swagger back? Maybe Chance is the thing that'll pull him back. Maybe Chance is the
the motivation will be like
swagger back.
Yeah, I can see
this is a no-brainer for me, y'all, and I'm so sorry to Chance because I think Chance is great, but Paul has this in the bag. I totally have Paul on this. I think Paul is going to do really well. I always have faith in Paul. I've seen Chance do the same thing. Like I've seen Chance before train the way that he has. I know that Chance trains and intensely trains and has a lot of people who are smart about the game that have his back and has the right people in his corner to motivate him. And he absolutely has the potential to dominate Paul in a trivia match. That's not a lie. We've seen him do it before. So, but just for my gut instinct and who I would like to see win and like to see move on is, of course, Drip Drip, Paul Oyama. So I think he's going to do really well. Thank you.
Swag shout.
Yeah.
Go post on your swag account again, Danny. Go ahead.
Thank you. I mean that's mostly what it is, but I do think that Paul is going to take this. And looking at the brackets, and it's mostly because I want to see Paul Oyama versus Robert Parker. Like that's kind of really the match that I want to see. I would rather see Paul Oyama versus Robert Parker than Chance versus Robert Parker.
Okay.
I think either one of them is going to lose to Robert Parker. That's my.
I also do think.
I love them both. I love both Paul.
I love both of them. They're amazing.
Robert, as far as
Robert's
Robert. Until Robert's kind of like. Until you cut him like Drago in Rocky 4, like it's just he's a monster at this point. So
yeah. I have the same faith in Robert Parker, and that's not because Chance and Paul both have had belts before, but I think because we've seen Paul walk away with the singles belt, not taking anything away from teams because teams is just as tough as a division as any of the divisions that are out there. They're all hard in their own merit, but like Paul had a singles belt and Paul has definitely faced a high caliber of people where I feel like Chance has just faced like the same people over that are high caliber, but just the same ones. Anyways, I'm ranting about that whole thing. It doesn't matter at the end of the day because we can talk about those matches when they come a lot later.
I didn't put the timer up. Don't worry about it.
Yes.
There's no worry about it. And Mike's right. This is the one they want more. I honestly think they want this one more than they want the championship match. I think they want to beat each other more. And like I said, honestly, if Paul does win, I'm not going to be surprised. I'm not like I'm saying Chance is definitely going to win. That's just my gut says at this point. I'm going to pick Chance. And Leo, we actually talked about it.
We already talked about it.
So if you want to hit rewind or wait till it's over, we did talk about that. Spoiler: I think Zipper's going to win.
I do as well.
So I think we got that chance to him. I think that to me is going to be the match of the week. By far, that's what I'm looking forward to the most out of the three.
I think so too.
So that's it with the matches.
Yep. So we want to talk about some things that have come up sort of in the news with Schmodown.
Sure.
A possible another tournament that is I'm pretty excited about.
Well, Christian did announce a save the date for the Spectacular, the first live event, which would happen in December 6th. I'm kind of hoping that. From what I've gathered now from talking to people, I actually missed the announcement. I was asleep. I work overnights and I tend to wake up just in time for SCN. This time I didn't. What I announced is that they originally were going to book December 12th. They couldn't get the theater, so they have booked with the theater December 6th, which is a Sunday. Which actually would be very cool. I'm just going to interject this really quick because, as we all know, Mark Ellis usually does a show before the night before it's going on, which actually is cool. And I will let this out. Maybe I'll get fired for saying that, but I'm going to say it anyway. Obviously, you guys know I work with Ben and Drew, and there's been talk of doing an Action Live. And if they do the idea of the tying into the Schmodown was always kind of a weird thing because, Ellis is a show on Friday, this Schmodown's on Saturday. Doing an Action Live on Thursday is kind of tougher kind of thing. So if it happens on Sunday, maybe we might get an Action Live with Ben and Drew doing a live show. Maybe on a Friday or Saturday, whatever Ellis doesn't do. And that would be great because you guys would love to see it. We saw the Action Live in New York. It was so fun.
It was so fun.
So great.
It was
Ben and Drew dressing like MacGruber, Drew mentioned.
Yes, if there's not a mid-show wardrobe change, I will be very disappointed.
Ben's got his album coming out, so probably do some music. It'll be a fun, entertaining show either way. So I'm really hoping that happens. Hopefully everything goes down with the world not ending. And but right now, so the date is saved. They have a theater. Who knows what happens in the next couple months? So we'll see.
And a big action meetup.
Yes, we have an action meetup that night at that point. So that would be very cool. Yeah, very cool.
I will tell everyone that I'm on a family reunion.
Because
we are.
what it is.
Because that's basically what it is. So
I miss you guys so much.
I gotta go see my fam. Sorry.
Yep.
The funny thing is, we used to, like I'll say that, we used to actually have an action house, but it's like too big because we have so many action generals and action armies. So we're not going to have an action house per se. We're all just going to stay together in houses and different things like that. But we'll have a definite action meetup someday. Where we're going to have like all 40, 50 of the generals, whoever else shows up. We'll get them there and get to hang out with everybody and
go mudding in someone's backyard. We'll all end up in other people's beds.
I'm guessing Jake's gonna buy a shots.
Yeah.
We're gonna be a lot of heavily imbibing of substances. It'll be a lot of fun.
And then we will all wake up, or one of us will wake up in the morning and walk and get lost and get coffee for everyone.
There you go.
Good time.
Good time.
Good times at the Action House.
Woo-hoo! Action City. I like that. Action City block party. I like that. That's what we'll do. Make it happen.
Yes.
Can you imagine if we all did get Airbnbs that were like right next to each other, like in the same area?
Oh.
We could just walk home.
That would be okay. Goals.
Oh my god.
So, yay!
Then we rent out in neighborhoods. Let's find out.
It would burn down. That's what would happen. It would be very unfortunate to a California neighborhood.
It could be. We definitely would definitely some fires. And a lot of drinking, a lot of Jameson, a lot of
Yeah. Okay. Last time we had an action, not the most recent action house, but like LA, we cleared out every single nearby store of White Claw. We had to keep going further and further out trying to find the White Claw. So.
That's not a lie.
That is not a lie.
That's and yes. Don't let Larry park the car. That's bad. But I've heard bad. I saw the video and it's pretty impressive. And yeah, Malcolm, if we make enough money, you never know. Maybe we'll send somebody to NZ and get a helicopter for you.
Please, yes, Malcolm, that would be great if he could come and join us.
But okay, we're diverting ourselves nuts because we're so out of touch. We so much live event. We're going off into tangents, but
we miss each other. Yeah.
The live event. Spectacular. Christian said, and this I think will definitively happen either way, obviously. We're going to get a 36-player tournament, a singles tournament, in order to get those belts. So I think it'd be a fun game to play right now. 36 players, that's 4 per faction. We can go look through our faction. We can kind of make our guesses a little off the cuff. We didn't do any preparation on this. Off the cuff, see who we think will be in that single tournament from each faction. So you ready to go? The first one, I'll just read them off, and you'll think, and we'll say what we think.
Sure.
We'll start with the usual suspects. The usual suspects we have Andrew Ghai, Janine, Matt Atchity, Cameron Rice, Jen Kemp, Ethan Irwin, Molly Damon, Sabina Graves, Robert Montano, late at the party, and Doug Benson.
Oh, this is hard.
I think Ethan Irwin is the spot on. Got to have Ethan Irwin.
Yeah. I think Janine too.
I think
Janine's probably.
Andrew or lock-ins.
I don't know about Andrew. And here's why.
Yeah.
I love Andrew Ghai. I think he would definitely be the person they would want to have an attorney. I don't think, from what I've heard, that Drew actually likes the online style of play. That kind of neutralizes his
presence,
his charisma, his getting in someone's head. And Drew's already got a match that was announced against Kalinowski, so I think he might just skip the tournament and go with Kalinowski at some point. That's this is actually, I didn't work for Ben and Drew. This is nothing behind the scenes. It's all stuff that he said on air at some point that during
insider intel,
action streams and stuff. So this is not insider. This is all stuff he said at action streams. I just feel like Drew's not going to be in the tournament. I think he'll get busy with Clash Royale and stuff like that, and then he might go somewhere, do something else at the Spectacular, possibly. I don't know what to say.
Okay.
So I would say Ethan Irwin, Janine, I think this is where you got to put Matt Atchity in there.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe either Sabina Graves or Robert Montano.
I think my 4 would be Janine, Ethan, Molly, Robert. Those would be my 4.
You're gonna put Molly Damon in singles?
Oh wait, that's right. Okay, yeah, singles tournament. You're right. Matt Atchity instead of Molly Damon.
Okay. So Ethan, I'm sorry. So Ethan, I didn't hear him. Ethan, Matt Atchity, who else?
Janine and Robert.
Okay, that's not a bad pick. Is Doug Benson IG or is he singles? I don't even know. Do we know?
I don't think we know. That's actually what I was gonna say. If he is singles, I feel like they need a reason to use him.
Yeah.
So that's my answer. Is if he is singles, I see him being used, and then Erwin, Janine, and Robert.
Okay. Adam's making a good point. Actually, is definitely used more in the team status. That might be the case to go. Maybe might want to get Sabina Graves in there instead. So maybe they'll save Ashley for a team's tournament or something like that if they have one like that when they get to the studio. Who knows what that's going to be? We kind of have no real recognition on that. So, but that's a good point. Okay. That might be the case too. There is the question when it comes to the more celebrity, the Benson, you get Chris Jericho, Kevin Smith. Are they going to do this at the tournament, or are they going to have them at a live event first, or
that's
a video match?
How I feel about it is I think they want them for live events, but they also have to keep in mind we don't know when that will be.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you want to keep them in the back burner all year and not use them at all, or see if they have a free afternoon where they could spend an hour on a, you know what I mean? Like, I kind of feel like they would be willing to use them because it's better to use them than not.
Very true. And also, when you think about it, it's much easier to schedule somebody from a stream than to actually schedule them to come into a studio or anything as well. Also, good point, though. You might choose not to put Janine in because you put Janine in the IG tournament. Maybe give someone else another chance to play. Like that might be Sabina instead of. I don't know about Cameron Rice. I don't know if he is a singles player or not either, but possibility. Okay. All right, you ready to move on to the next?
Yeah.
Players? We got the Burning Druids. I got these in no order. These are just the ones I had pulled up. So Burning Druids. We got Alonzo Duralde, Whitney Seibold, Eric Barnes, the Warfather, Rebecca McKendry, Bonnie Somerville, Brandon Hanna, Ken Knapsack, Jader Paramo, JTE, and Scott Mance.
I could see Jader.
I think Jader's 100%.
I do too.
Jader.
I think Alonzo Duralde.
Alonzo. Yep. He was going to be my other two.
Yeah, I agree.
I think you got Whitney, probably.
Yeah.
But
I could see Whitney.
To me, it's down to JTE or Scott Mance. But I think it's got to be Mance because that's why you pick him up in the as a free agent. So I'm going to go with Mance as my fourth.
I'm gonna say JTE just because he has been doing like stuff online a lot recently and stuff like that. I've seen him in the world more recently with Schmodown, so he's just on my mind. So I'm gonna say JTE.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that also.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay. I think it's not. I think you definitely outrule. I don't think the Warfather will be in singles. I don't think after his performance. I don't know who Rebecca McKendry is. I thought she was maybe an IG or Star Wars, but I'm not sure. I could be wrong. I know it's not going to be Bonnie because you can't encounter her making the match, and it's always not going to be Brandon or Ken in singles at this point. Yeah. So all right.
Yep.
Moving on to the next one then. The Rock Stars. You got Andreyko, Snyder, Alex Damon, Stacey Howard, Jim Vejvoda, David Del Rio, Jared Habon, Adam Gertler, Josh Cavedo, and Chris Jericho. This is a tough one for me. I think you get Andreyko and Snyder in both.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think they're for sure. I also could see Stacey.
Yeah, those three are my definite. Absolutely. I don't see why you wouldn't put Jeff Snyder, Mark Andreyko, and Stacey Howard for sure.
The rest comes down to obviously not going to be Josh from a Star Wars player. Do you use Chris Jericho? I don't know.
I don't know.
And then my prediction would be either Vejvoda or Del Rio. I don't know which one you go with, though.
I don't know
David
either.
Del Rio did well. He beat Whitney Seibold, then he lost to Liz Shannon Miller, and then he lost to Paul Preston as well. But he always seemed to be in the match kind of thing. So like one of those things. But Vejvoda actually, I was surprised, not surprised, I guess. He was always he was always a team player. Then he did IG because they needed another IG player. But he's a great singles player if he can play the game right. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him try it again to use that as well. Because he's already played this year. He's already ready to go. So it depends if Roxy wants to use him again or if he wants to try to use David Del Rio as someone who hasn't played yet.
Yeah, I'm going to say Del Rio.
Del Rio.
That's where my vote's going to go.
I think Gertler's too busy. Like I said, he's been too busy to play. So, all right. Yeah. Anything else to say on that one, Danny?
No, I'm so sorry. I got completely distracted. My brother is watching a movie in the other room, and I could hear the TV. I couldn't recognize the song because, like, I was paying attention to this, but like I knew it was a song that I could recognize, so I had to turn the volume off. He's watching All Dogs Go to Heaven.
Interesting.
Good choice.
Mike. Oh, I'm shocked you're crying about something. Oh.
Poor Danielle.
Mike Deacon has a great point and a great thing. Faction play and matches might be a fun Patreon option. Again, it's tough to do, but like you don't want to give away questions at this point. You already don't want to do exhibitions. But what if, like, let's say Roxy said, you know what? I don't know who to put in, Vejvoda or Del Rio, and they just put up their own little
match,
study match, like maybe not use official questions to see like what they would do, and just say like, all right, you beat him, you get in, kind of thing. That'd be an interesting. Fun little thing to do. I don't know if they'll give away a match like that, though, so that's probably why it won't ever happen. But
that'd be cool.
It'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be fun.
All right, let's see. Moving on. Next one. Finstock Exchange. I
feel like we know.
Well, I don't know about that because it's not going to be Ben because Bateman's not going to do it. He said pretty much. Yeah. It's not going to be Roca because he has the number one shot. So you either got Dan Merle, Mark Riley. I mean, we're not going to be DeMilana. Craig Gagne, Barbarian, which you know it's going to be.
Barbarian.
It's not going to be Emily Rose Jacobson. Who's the final one? If you have Riley and Merle and the Barbarian, you have Gray Drake, Cody Hall, or Sabrina Ramirez.
I think with the hype, it's going to be Sabrina.
I
think it should be Sabrina. I think you should put Sabrina in something. I think so I think most of the time whenever we're thinking about stuff like this, managers are thinking about their best players to put in there, but sometimes I don't think of a lot of people think about the players that they have to put in certain situations. And I think Sabrina is one of those players that you have to utilize because there's so much hype behind her, and because not just the hype, but the fact that other people have said that she will do well, and how many people have faith in her. I think that it's a smart move to put her in there for views also.
Yeah. That's why I say she's beloved. People adore Sabrina. They want to see her in any way they can. So if you want people watching your faction and your team, put her on screen. So.
Yep.
So the question is, it's kind of funny. I'm seeing a lot of people. No one's putting Merle in the tournament, which is weird to me.
Well, he's got the belt. Does he play?
Oh, that's true. He doesn't. No,
I did too until they said that. I'm like, oh yeah, he's got
Merle is the champion, so that makes no sense. Okay, so no, all right, there you go. Why? Wow, that was really stupid. All right, Barbarian Gray. That's the thing too. Is it Gray? Because Ray Drake is a dark horse.
I would love to see Gray play more. I just want to see Gray. I love Gray Drake so much, and I just want to see her play more.
I'm going to say Cody.
I think Cody's too busy from what I've heard. I could be wrong about that. Yeah, blame PLD for being never dance a champ. Yes, I've had Jameson, guys. I'm done. For some reason, I don't even know who I thought was champion. That's the worst part about it. I haven't seen a champion this long. I don't even know who I thought was champion. So I just... but we have, like I said, Barbarian, Ramirez, and Riley. Barbarian, Riley, Sabrina, Cody. Like all these different players, like all these different choices. Yeah. But this is the question that needs to be answered.
I feel like it has to be just to keep the joke going.
I will say that if I had to make my choice, I think I want to say that Riley defers, and I don't know why I think that. I just feel like he's gonna defer his choice, and it's gonna be the Barbarian, Gray Drake, Sabrina, and maybe Cody. That maybe he doesn't. Maybe because they have if you take Merle Riley and Merle Bateman and Roke out, then maybe Riley's got to be in there as a top four. So okay, so how about Riley, Barbarian, Gray, and Sabrina? That's my 4.
My argument, people, I see the chat about Cody being a new papa, so he's too busy. I have also had young children where I've been up all night, stuff like that. What you do to stay awake while feeding your children is watch movies. Like, that's how you force yourself to stay awake. So you're studying whether you mean to or not. And I'm a single mom with 2 kids, and you see me here 3 times a week for like, you. If you want to do it, you can do it. So if Cody wants to play, he'll play.
Yeah. Well, that's my choice. So
I guess then that's what it is. Like, if he wants to, because maybe Cody wants to not have to pay attention to certain things and study the way that you can and stuff like that. So,
right, absolutely.
So I feel like if he wants to play, he'll play. If he doesn't, then he won't.
Okay.
But he's my vote.
All right. How about we'll go to the dungeon? Very interesting considering they're all IG heavy. Smets, Parker, Zipper, Witt, Mugen, Mancuso, Brittany Young, Rick Hong, Drew Grant, and Andres. Okay, it goes Galagost, let me say. Wow, this is This is kind of a tough
this is the one I've been dreading to talk about because I kind of don't know what my opinion is.
We don't know much. We've only seen the Mugen and Mancuso once, so they were on teams. I don't see Brittany Young doing it. Maybe I don't see Brittany Young doing it. I think you gotta have Zipper in. I think
you gotta have Drew Grant in.
Yeah, I
gotta
say
have Drew Grant in.
I would want to put Adam Witt in this.
I kind of do too.
I feel like the 4 that I would go with would be Adam Witt, Drew Grant, Eric Zipper, and Vinny Mancuso.
I think Andreas Galagos plays. That's what I think.
I think, okay.
I can see that.
Because I wasn't sure if Andres did only Inner Geekdom or if he was doing singles. If he's doing singles, then I would put Andres in there over Vinny.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do too. I think I'm going to put Zipper, Witt, Drew, and Andres, I think.
Yeah.
Rick Hong is a dark horse as well. He played in the teams match with Drew.
But, that's right. I was thinking that I hadn't seen him play, but that's right.
Yeah.
So,
I think my 4 is the same as PLD's.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
All right. I'm good with that pick. I'm good with those picks.
Sounds good to me.
Anything else to say on that one? Should we move on?
Nope.
I'm good.
I'm good.
We got the Den.
The Den.
The Den. We got Tom, Paul, Sean Sullivan, Rachel Silvestrini, Ben Goddard, Alex Marzonia, Saul, Brett Sheridan, James White, Vanessa Fitzsimmons. This is a very hard tournament thing because it's pretty much all
of them.
I mean, you take out Saul for IG only at this point.
And Sean for Star Wars.
And I think you got Sean for Star Wars. I kind of think I love him to death. I love him to death. I don't think you put Brett Sheridan in the tournament.
No.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
So I think you gotta put Tom in.
You gotta put Tom. I see Tom, Paul, and Ben are the 3 like you have to.
And Goddard's gonna be there as well. But can you not have Rachel Silvestrini in it?
That would be my vote. Would be Tom, Paul, Ben, and Rachel.
Right, but then you leave out James White, who's been like they traded for him. You leave out Vanessa Fitzsimmons, which they picked up as a free agent.
True.
It's a tough.
This is a tough one. I'll stick to the 4 I just said, but you're right. It's tough. Any one of them could be taken out for the another one.
If I had to decide today, it would be Tom, Paul, Ben, and Rachel.
Yep, that's me.
Although I could see Kate, seeing what she did with Hannah and not the IG tournament, I could see Rachel and Ben actually not being in the tournament. and have it because keeping them as the
True.
pride and keeping them as the tournaments and keeping them as a tag team and not worrying about anything else, and have Tom, Paul, James White, and Vanessa.
I see your point, and I raise you a different one.
I love it.
I agree with that to a certain extent, to where that would make Kate take Rachel out, but I think she's going to keep Ben.
Ben's kind of her golden son right now, her darling.
I feel like Ben is going. I feel like Ben is also trying to make a name for himself. And I feel like Kate is behind that. Rightfully so. We've seen what Ben has doing. I think at the beginning of the year, there was a lot of hype for Ben, and a lot of us were like, I don't know if this hype is real. Who fucking knows? But Ben has proven himself in the matches that he's played, and I think that that will make it that, like, if Ben pushes Kate to let him be in the singles tournament, I think that that's a good reason to do it, because he has worked so well in all of the other ones. I think it would be fun to see him as a rookie make a name for himself in almost literally every single tournament in the Schmodown, which is something that we have never really seen a rookie do before. We've seen a rookie dominate their league. We've never seen a rookie dominate every league they've been in. So I think that that would be interesting to see how well Ben does in that tournament. So I think that that's why Kate would keep Ben inside of that, and why, and also with what you said, because of teams and with them doing so well, I think that that would be her excuse to not put Rachel inside of the tournament. As much as I would be against that, because I would want to see Rachel inside of this tournament, I think if Kate were to do that, then that's where she would put James White in that tournament.
Instead of Rachel.
And that would be Ben Goddard, James White, Paul Preston, and Tom.
Here is, I'm gonna drop a little bit of bomb and think about it. Just think. Has Tom ever played a singles match? I don't think he has, right?
Solo, no.
Nope.
Does he want to play a singles match?
I've heard no.
See, look.
But that was a year in December when I heard that, so things change.
Yeah. Paul keeps trying to come up in here with like his behind the scenes logic, and no, we're just deciding who we believe would be best players in the tournament, not logical reasons as to why someone wouldn't be in the tournament.
It's a question. I'm just asking the question. I'm not saying definitively.
It's a valid point. I've had conversations with people who said that he wasn't interested in singles. But like I said, that was 6 months ago. So things change a lot in 6 months. So
Kelsey was bringing up the inside stuff. I didn't say
it was me this time.
I'm just saying that I don't. I
want stuff too.
I will just go so far as to say, because of Kate's like unorthodox maneuvering, sometimes like IG and everything else, I would not be surprised if Tom didn't go in the tournament for that reason. If I'm manager, Tom's definitively in. I'll put it that way. It would be Tom, Paul, probably Tom, Paul, Rachel, and Ben. Probably would be my choices. Although, just again, the interesting way, does that, if you're the rest of the den, do you like, it's almost like a FinStock Exchange thing. Like, okay, if you're not the Pride and you're not Tom and Paul, then do we even count? I mean, Saul and Sean have their own divisions, but like James, Vanessa, Alex.
That's a fair point. I'm honestly not sure, because like if it was any other like just matches, I would say throw in your rookies and stuff like that. But a tournament, for those points especially, you want to make kind of like a sure thing a little bit. So I guess it's just kind of what's your priorities, inclusion or points.
Right. And who knows?
You know what I mean? And with Kate, we've kind of seen inclusion's kind of been like the whole thing with Brandon. So you do have a point.
And I mean, it's not like James is not. He can't do it. I mean, James has intelligence. He has games in game. I haven't seen him play, but he was good in the family, supposedly. Vanessa, we've seen good things from as well. So I don't know. Again, if I have to say, it's Tom, Paul, Rachel, and Ben. But we'll have to see where it goes down from there.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what happens.
Okay. How about the Quirky Mercs? Another interesting one.
Kevin Smith.
Again, well, that's the big question. Do you waste? I don't say waste Kevin Smith, but do you use Kevin Smith now? Do you hold him for a big event? You got Bibiani, Brendan Meyer, American Opic, Tim Franco, Haley Fouch, Greg Alba, Joseph Scrimshaw, John Humphrey, Perry Nemiroff, Kevin Smith. I'm out-ruling Kevin Smith. That's my own choice.
Yeah, I am.
We're out-ruling American Opic. She's not going to be in singles.
Yep.
I'm ruling out Joseph Scrimshaw.
Yep, Scrimshaw.
Yeah.
You can't not have Bibiani or Meyer.
I feel like they're shoo-ins for sure, though they will be there.
And I feel like you should take out John Humphrey and Greg Alba. I think that's what.
I think they're focusing on teams and IG, so
yeah,
I think so too. So then it come down to Tim, Haley, or Perry. I think Tim.
Yep.
Not only is he knowledgeable, not only is he really amazing guy, he's also someone who lives far away, and this is a great time to use him. Time to use him is in the tournament, and yes,
I agree.
Franco wants to do it. Absolutely, I know he's told me that as well. He wants to do it, so give him a shot. I would definitely take Tim, and I think you got to give the three guys. You got to give Haley the shot as well. I think Haley's earned her shot playing against Ethan Irwin, playing against. She's had some difficult losses, but she definitely has the knowledge there. So I would definitely give Haley a shot.
Yeah, I think that's mine too. Bibbs, Franco, Meyer, and Fouch.
The question would be Perry.
Yeah. I could see Perry instead of Fouch, but because we haven't seen Perry play, so maybe if you're trying to get her an opportunity to, this is a good time. Yeah. But I do think Fouch is a more solid player than Perry is.
I agree. Although, I'm
on the opposite. I feel like Perry's a little bit more of a solid player than Haley. I love Haley also, and I think Haley will do well if she gets more matches and plays more frequently inside of the league. I think Haley has potential to be one of those top tier B players, lower A players. I feel like Haley would kind of fall into that realm where I feel Perry is already there at that level. So I think it just would come down to availability but I also think that they're both interchangeable because their strengths are going to be the same. I've seen Perry play more in other things. I feel like that just makes me feel more on Perry's side than Haley's side, but I think that they're both kind of interchangeable, and it would just come down to where Koi wants to take it and who wants to take it a little bit more. But I definitely agree with y'all. I believe that it's going to be Brendan, Bibiani, and Franco for sure. And then it's just kind of a switch up between Haley and Perry for me.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, one thing I see in the chat, and I kind of do agree with, is I think this is a great opportunity for Haley because she does have kind of confidence issues, especially in front of crowd. We saw at the live event, that was a lot of pressure. So sitting at home on your computer playing might be a more comfortable setting. So who knows? Maybe this is a perfect opportunity for her to play and really shine. So I'm not voting for Haley. I think Haley's gonna.
I will say that Danielle, I love you. I wholeheartedly disagree with you about Perry. If you take away Perry's Jurassic Park matches, her exhibitions, she's been a okay teams player, good teams player with tough beats. I think Haley has proven herself much more than Perry has as far as the whole league goes. Now, that being said, Perry did make mention after she said she was coming back and she got signed as a free agent that she was so sick of losing, which is why she quit in the first place, because they weren't doing very well. One of the reasons why she did that, and that she was going to come back. If she was going to come back, that she was going to get ready and come back and commit to it. So that being said, maybe she surprises me. Maybe she comes in and she kicks some ass. Mm-hmm. But right now, I'm going Haley 7 times a week, twice on Sunday. At this point.
Fair enough.
I love you, Perry. I do love her. I think she's awesome.
I love Perry, but yeah, I agree with you there.
Yeah.
And yes, Perry does throw great dance parties, so I definitely give her that as well. But okay. So moving on to Shannon Barney's team. I love Shannon Barney.
I love Shannon.
I want to get Shannon on chill like this by herself. We had her on with Mike one time. I'm going to get her on by herself and deep dive into her. interesting enough. And actually, I'd like to get Mike on too, by the way, just separately, because it'd be interesting to go deep dive into both of them. But let's see what we got for corruption. We have Mike Kalinowski, Chance Ellison, Mark Edward Hoyk, Elliot Dewberry, Laura Kelly, Clee Wiggins, Marisol McKee, Rick Ramos, Claudia Dolph, Adam Collins. I think it's got to be Mike and Chance are in it. They basically said that they're trying to take corruption onto their back and get them as many points as possible. I think you got to have Mark Edward Hoyk in it. I think he's been pushed enough by Shannon that she wants him in it. She's hers. So it comes down to Elliot, Clee, Claudia. Oh, we haven't seen Marisol, Rick, and Adam. We haven't even seen them, so I don't know who to pick out of those. The fourth pick is going to be a tough choice to make. I mean, right now, we saw Claudia Dolph, and she did well with musicals, and she did pretty well with some things. She picked up Adam Collins for a reason. You go with the rookie for Adam Collins. Marisol McKee hasn't even had his choice. She was like a hot rookie at the draft, and we still haven't seen anything from her.
Yeah.
So I don't know who you picked for the fourth.
Yep. And then we have Dewberry, who because really surprised. He's a very solid player. He's got a whole movement thing named after him, pulling a Dewberry.
Yeah, Dewberry's my pick for that fourth.
I think it is
all of your three that you said first of all. Chance, Mike, and Mark, and then I think Elliot is the fourth one for that.
See, yeah, it's funny if you say that because I think Elliot's definitively not the one that's going to be the fourth. I don't know why. That's a gut instinct of mine, though. I don't know who the fourth would be. He's just the one I'm not.
Wrong before, so it's fine.
Yeah,
I've been very wrong many times. I'm wrong all the time. I drink a lot.
Because you're Irish and so it's Jameson. You're right.
I'm Irish and I drink whiskey. That's why, obviously.
You're supposed to drink Jameson. It's in your blood. You're good.
But I do think it's Elliot. It's going to be not the one. I think if I had to make my gut decision, I think it's Adam Collins. I think it's the rookie.
Interesting.
I don't know why.
I can see that.
Why. But I guess I might be too heavily weighing this for almost all the factions. But I feel like if you made a free agency pick, that like when they did the draft, for example, they did the draft with the season in mind. Then the season went to hell because of COVID and everything else. So when you made the free agency pickup, you're either doing it because it's a celebrity like Kevin Smith and Chris Jericho, or you do it knowing that this is probably going to be a virtual tournament, and you look for someone to run a tournament.
True. So
if you're going to pick them up in the free agency, then why not use them in that fashion?
Fair enough. That's a good solid point.
So I don't know. Let's see how it works, but that is true too. Again, I've heard that too. We haven't seen her, so she technically is just as good a rookie, possibly. But I don't know. I wonder if what I think it was Chris or was it Mike who said it before for the play-in matches. I wonder if the managers don't do that themselves. They have play-in matches behind the scenes, and we just never see it. Like if Shannon goes, "All right, here, Claudia, Adam, and Marisol, whoever answers these questions, like these 20 questions, whoever answers the most right to get the fourth slot," kind of thing. You know what I mean?
I could see that. I think honestly, that's kind of maybe a smart strategy if you're unsure of who to pick for those final spots, because especially if we have no tape on these players, it helps you kind of get an idea for what you need, and also what you need to study and something like that. So yeah, I think that'd be a solid strategy. If managers aren't doing that, maybe they should.
So, my picks. All right, and finally, it's Danielle's faction. I'm sorry, it's Winston's faction. It's not. It's I'm sorry, just hear it loud. Drip Trip. We got Paul Liama, Lon Harris, Chandra Dahandapani, Josh McCouga, Liz Shannon Miller, Adam Hlavik, RB3, Andres Cabrera, Sean Gerber, Frank Moran. Ruling out Chandra right away, obviously IG. Ruling out Adam Hlavik. Yep. Ruling out Andres.
Yep.
Ruling out Sean Gerber, I think, because he's mostly our Marvel guy. I'm actually surprised not to see anything.
IG, so yeah.
I think this is not a definitive ruling out, but I don't think Frank Moran's going to be that fourth one because I think he's more of a Marvel guy too, from what I've gathered. I don't know if he's IG, but I don't know. I think you got to have Paul Yama in, obviously.
Yep, gotta have Paul.
You got to have Lon Harrison.
Because he's beloved.
He's beloved, and he's
he's smart.
And he's smart. He's smart as hell.
Smart.
I think Liz Shannon Miller is definitively the third one.
Too.
I absolutely agree.
So the fourth one will come down to either Josh Bakuga, because it's Josh Bakuga.
Because he's
And
Makuga.
Swag likes his swag, so to speak.
Yeah.
Or it's RB3.
I think,
but I don't think it's RB3.
I think this is one of those times where we do have to look at behind the scenes things and think about how busy potentially Josh could be with outside work. We don't necessarily just be there. The season, as far as I know, for his show is over, but we don't know when, if, how they could film a season 2, if anything. We also don't know when this tournament is going to start. But Josh is one of those people who we do know is working and is actively trying to find work outside of this. Like, he's not someone who is going to openly and readily be there completely available for a tournament in the same way that we know that RB3 can.
Right.
Fair enough.
So I think that's part of something that I personally would think about when it comes to it, and why I would pick RB3 as the fourth one for it. I would love to see Josh in it, but I think just based on that, that's where I would shoot more RB3 as the fourth than Josh as the fourth.
Yep.
The one thing I would say about Josh is that, again, kind of like almost like the celebrity thing, this is a chance to use him. He doesn't have to be in anywhere. He has to be in his house or be in a hotel or anything else. You get to have that Josh Makuga, that swagger that he has, which Winston likes so much. Getting to use him gets him a little credit.
I don't think you can be in a hotel. I have tried to do an episode of Chill to Action.
See, we know that though, but do Christian and Mark and everybody know that? So they may try.
Hotel Wi-Fi is not reliable at all.
They'll pay for satellite or whatever. Maybe who knows. But if I had to pick, I think I'm going to pick Josh. I think Josh will be my fourth. That's going to be my pick. So it'll be Paul, Lon, Liz, Josh. That's my four.
I'll say RB3 is my fourth. I could see the points, but I also like RB3 has just become a staple in the community. He's beloved, things like that. We like to get opportunities to see him. So if this is an opportunity to get him on camera, I see them taking that.
Yeah. Definitely is one of Winston's boys too. So definitely not bad. It's not a bad college. So I would be surprised either way too. That's true. So okay.
And I think he would want to do it. I think RB3 would want to do it. And that's not saying that Josh wouldn't. But I think that RB3 would like a chance to maybe redeem himself from his last match.
Could. Yeah, absolutely could. Those are the 9 factions. That's what we got through.
Cool.
So we have our tournament. Whether Christian uses them or not, who knows?
Yeah.
But that's our tournament.
We know Christian's watching. He's picking it, telling everybody what he needs to pick. So
that's true.
We are the deciders.
I do manage swag, and Alex does manage the droogs. So
yeah,
there you go.
I manage my kids. That's about as much as I can.
I manage my Jameson. That's about as much as I manage. Sometimes my Jack. So
yeah, gotta mix it up sometimes. Yeah. All right, so I think we covered all the big news and stuff and speculations. So I think now it's time for Call to the Network, where we talk about all the cool things coming up on our channel this week. And I had a little bit of fun with that this week. So
Kelsey kicked ass on this. I love this. So tomorrow on Chill, I'm not going to announce it. I'm going to let Kelsey announce it in her own special way.
Okay, I guess I'll announce it in my own special way. Here we go.
Oh. That was very cool.
Thanks. That was fun to make. I was in the Gucciverse, so I'm watching Gucciverse, and I was like on that higher plane of existence that you get to when you're in the Gucciverse, and I'm like, I'm gonna play around and make some videos. So here we are.
There we go.
That's what
I will also announce, which the ones we don't have videos for. We are on a run of Schmodown ladies in the chilled action, which I'm happy to have. We have, like I said, like we just saw, Laura Kelly is going to be there tomorrow. The next week, I just signed the dotted line. We're going to have video. Drew Grant is going to be on chilled action. Sure to watch. It's something we have been pushing for a while. Never quite made it work out schedule wise, and she's very excited. Actually has great, wonderful text for us.
We're all pretty excited.
We're all very excited about it.
And then finally, the week after that, we will get our rescheduled appearance from Sabrina Ramirez, which should be a lot of fun as well. You've seen her on Gucciverse,
Yeah.
And on the first cut, she's a wonderfully intelligent woman. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I'm so excited to get to learn more about her because she is so cool.
Me too. I'm excited to talk to Sabrina.
Oh, real quick, I wanted to say this, and I keep forgetting to say this, and I was like, oh, you got to say this, and I almost forgot. Tomorrow's show is a little earlier than usual.
Thank you, Paul.
We usually go at 8:15, 8:30 Pacific. With Laura, we're going to go at 7:30 Pacific. Of course, it means we'll probably start at 7:45. But it's 7:30 is when we're trying to start by. Going that way so we can get her out a little earlier. So just so we know on that. So.
All right. And then I'm not there. I'm hearing we're still working on scheduling a little bit possibly with this, but we do, I believe, have a Schmo Bates match this week. And we also, I made a video for that as well. So you're ready for it?
I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm ready to see it again.
Okay. Are you going to click it or I click it?
Go ahead. You click it.
Okay.
I'm leaving. Go ahead. Click it.
Okay. I'm so excited.
So good.
I'm so excited for that match. I mean, I have my opinion on who's going to win it.
Danny better win that match.
That's gonna be a tough one. I need to reach out to Rachel Silvestrini. She told me that she would help me out with some stuff, so I got to reach out to her. But I am pretty excited.
I'm waiting on you.
Yeah, I have been having a lot of fun with Schmo Bates. It's been neat to be a part of. So I just want to face Ben.
You got to beat Ben. You're not facing Ben. You're gonna kick Ben's ass.
I just want to whoop on Ben. That's it.
And you get to unleash him on Ben. That's the fun part.
Yeah.
Your total I am a heel action and just fuck him up.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I mean, we may be biased, but it's gonna happen. Oh, all right. And I have not heard if we are doing AAA this week or not, but we will let you know if it does.
We ever hear? It seems like AAA.
No, they just tell us the day of.
They tell us the day of.
You're so like, I'm going to go tonight. What do you want to do? Let's talk about this person. It's a great show. What do you want? It comes together so fast at the end. Oh, man.
Oh, so maybe we don't know. We'll let you know as soon as we know. And then, of course, we will have live on Sunday, as per the usual, breaking down all the cool stuff happening this week. So we'll definitely see you guys.
Definitely.
All right. So I think that's all for what's coming up on the show. So our final segment, as per usual, is questions from the chat. So if you guys have any questions for us, Schmodown related or not, please send them in. Streamlabs and Super Chats do take priority, but we will try to get your questions in as well. So just ask us anything you want to. All right. And while we wait for those questions, well, Danielle's gone. What should we talk about? There she is. As here.
Trying to find a bottle of wine. But...
Bottle of red.
Yeah.
Bottle of wine.
Yep. I sadly didn't have alcohol today. I had a bang because I felt like I was going to fall asleep. So I needed an energy boost.
I've
Boom.
been sleepies all day long today.
Drew, it's okay. It's okay, Drew. It's all right. It's always on. You can go back and watch it. You don't have to watch it live every week. It's fine. I know you're in there. I know you're one of my biggest supporters on that show, so I love that.
Yep.
Speaking of that, I'm recording another one tomorrow because Jarvis going to be off all week, so I have to record one tomorrow morning early. We're doing Batman Begins versus The Dark Knight Rises.
Ooh.
It should be a fun one. We always talk about The Dark Knight as like probably the favorite of the trilogy and everything else. So I was like, well, what about the other two? Let's get those in.
It's not my favorite of the trilogy. Hot take.
Right? So.
Yep.
I don't know which one is my favorite of the trilogy.
I know my favorite.
Which one is it? I guess.
Begins.
Yeah.
I like Begins.
That's an Andrew Ghai thing. Andrew Ghai likes Begins a lot.
I love Scarecrow. I think is a very fascinating villain, and so I loved that take with it, like a realized kind of version of the Scarecrow. So I loved Begins.
I love Ra's al Ghul myself. I love Liam Neeson. Which spoilers, I'll tell you that. Big spoilers. That's one of our categories. This is best villain, Ra's al Ghul versus Bane, and Ra's al Ghul and Scarecrow versus Bane and Talia Shire, whatever. So I'm interested. So. Oh, we are getting some questions thrown in there.
Perfect. Let's see.
Can we see those sweet videos? That maybe at the end we'll play it again.
Maybe at the end. There also will be posted on social media. So
it'll be on Twitter. So.
Yeah. And thank you guys.
What is a film couple with the worst chemistry?
Hayden Christensen and Natalie Portman. That's my vote.
And also, what's her name? And what's his name from 50 Shades of Grey?
Oh, yes. Dakota
Fanning.
Dakota Johnson.
Dakota Johnson, and I don't remember his name.
Yeah, Dakota Johnson. That's right. I don't always say Dakota Fanning.
And what was his name, Kelsey?
I don't remember his name.
I don't remember his name
but
either.
I agree.
Generic white guy.
Yeah.
No.
They don't have chemistry. For people who the whole point of the movies is their chemistry, they don't have it. So I agree. Jamie Duran.
I'll also throw in there Tom Cruise and anybody, because Tom Cruise never ever has any kind of sexual chemistry with anybody he's with.
Not Brad Pitt.
Or
them together. I feel like
I've never seen a Tom Cruise like kiss or just like sex scene where I felt any kind of believability in it at all.
Not even the Eyes Wide Shut stuff.
No, he's like asexual. I feel like he's like just completely asexual.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
I love Tom Cruise, but yeah, just all right. Let's see. Over under 50% we get Lab Spectacular. I'm saying over.
I'm optimistic because if I don't, I'll cry.
Yeah.
I know it's partially because I want it to happen. I'm trying to look to the world. I think Christian wants it to happen. And I think they're going to air if there's any chance of it going well. And as long as there's not like complete collapse back into COVID, I think we get it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think if this year stays on like an upward turn, then we'll be okay. I think it's nice to set up, but my biggest fear is if something does happen and they have to cancel is shitty people being shitty to people about it canceling. If it does have to cancel, y'all, like, just be chill about it. Be cool. Like, just we'll deal with it, because I would rather them take precautions and let us all be safe than not. Like, I'd rather be safe than sorry. So if we have to cancel this event just to keep everyone safe, then I'm all for it. But I am absolutely, absolutely looking forward to December, because I'm not gonna lie, I've already looked up airline tickets. So
yeah, I actually got a free airline tickets. I'm ready to go whenever we go. But
yeah.
All right. Let's see. What is your favorite 80s comedy? That's such a hard question to answer on the spot.
So hard.
What's my favorite 80s comedy? I don't know why National Lampoons keeps coming to mind.
That's not a bad one. Although I think it's funny. I want to say Malcolm's Media, I'm on to you. I know he's plugging this. He does this almost every week. This is probably his take 3 top 12 ranking rankum show. I think that's his topic this week. He always needs to do that. I love it. I love the plugging for it.
I like it.
I do. I thought I was on it.
Continue to do that.
Oh, continue to, absolutely. I just understand I'm on to you.
I cannot think.
I will. Is Animal House? No, 79, I think, actually. So I can't say Animal House. Maybe. I love the raunchy comedies of the 80s. I did like the Porky's and the Police Academies and the. I mean, does Ghostbusters count as a comedy? I mean, it kind of is. Back to the Nerds.
When did Weird Science come out?
That's in the 80s. That's definitely 85. Which is a good one. Breakfast Club. That's
License to Drive is also one that comes to mind. Mm-hmm. Can't Buy Me Love.
I think I'll go with Breakfast Club. I think that's a good comedy. And it's enough for comedy. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's kind of tough. It's kind of a coming of age movie, but yeah, there's a list of them there. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd want to look at like a whole list so I could decide.
Yeah, that'd be me too.
National Lampoons is definitely high up there. Like that's one that just kind of sticks out.
All the vacation movies, everything.
I love the vacation movies.
And when did why can't I think of, I want to say Three Amigos, but it's not Three Amigos. Why can't I think of?
Oh, I love Three Amigos though.
Three Amigos too.
It is Three Amigos. That's definitely the movie that I'm thinking of. Three Amigos.
I like anything with Bill Murray in it is also good as well. So Stripes, Meatballs, this kind of thing.
Groundhog Day.
Caddyshack. Another good one.
80s were good for comedy.
Collision was supposed to happen this weekend. What match were you hoping to see for Collision? I don't know, because it's hard to say.
I can't even remember what was supposed to be going on right now.
They didn't announce Collision. There was no matches announced for Collision. I don't believe it.
After Houston was canceled, I could have seen that card being pushed to Collision.
Yeah.
So.
Well, in that case, it'd be Ghai Kalinowski because that's all I wanted to see for a while.
Yeah. I'll go with that mentality that maybe that's what they would have done. So that's what match I would have been excited to see.
Yeah.
Let's see. ELD from Mike Deacon favorite Billy Joel song.
Mine is Piano Man. Oh, mine is also Always a Woman breaks my heart every single time I hear that song. I'm also offended that you only shot this question to Paul like he's the only one who listens to Billy Joel.
Honestly, your opinion does not count in this matter, Danny. It's all about me for Billy Joel.
It's all, you know what, Paul? It's always all about you, and I'm tired of it.
You want to go?
Oh, Kayfabe's going. Okay.
Fight? Wow. I didn't even do that this time. I didn't even do that.
P2A Civil War.
I didn't even do that. I had that right here. But
Danielle's going to push Paul through table at the next live event.
Could definitely happen. I'll be drunk enough that it'll be pretty easy.
Yeah. Always a Woman is my answer, Mike.
Okay. Kelsey, what's your answer? Do you have one?
Mine was Piano Man too. I love that song.
I could go on for hours. I love Sylvan. I love She's Got Away. I love She's a Woman. I love Leningrad. I love Lullaby. Good Night Saigon was always a big one, but I think my favorite one, if I had to pick, probably be Captain Jack. Shocking enough. Captain Jack gets you out at night. But now they mentioned that one more, I would throw in there as a lesser, not a greatest hit type cut. Miami 2017, Lights Going On Broadway. That's a really good one. Look it up if you don't know it. So I go on for music for hours. So all right. Danny Coast, where do you think East Studio Ghibli Slay should be? IG or singles and teams?
That's a great question.
It's a hard question, but it's a good question.
That is a great question. I feel like I'd want to say in IG, but I think it's one of if you can put Harry Potter in IG and in singles, then I feel like you can put Studio Ghibli in IG and singles also. Where it dominates more into one where we mostly see Harry Potter in IG, but we can see it in singles. I feel like it's one of those categories.
That's a cheat. It's kind of a cop out, but I'll let you have it.
Wow.
I would probably put it in singles, if I'm going to be perfectly honest. I don't know if it qualifies to me for IG.
Wait, I have to ask this real quick. Danielle, did you just do that? Because you usually yell at us so hardcore when you do that. And you're finally coming to the dark side and doing that. I got to say, I love it. I love it. Go ahead, Kels. I'm sorry, Kels, please.
I'm sorry, too. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine, guys.
That's why because it's so distracting. Okay, I'm sorry.
I think singles. I don't know if it really fits in IG because I feel like IG is very certain audience. Like I watch pretty much everything that's in IG, really, other than Star Trek. I don't really watch Studio Ghibli movies, but people who love animation and family movies and things like that do tend to. So I just feel like it matches better with singles, but no, that's just my opinion. That eye roll.
The funny thing is, I've never seen this Studio Ghibli movie. Not one.
You should.
I know. I've been told that. So
I've watched a few of them.
You should.
So it's hard for me to predict. But I will say that I think it's got to be in the singles and IG. But I could see it a little bit. I'm just not sorry. Singles and teams.
Mm-hmm.
I think people are very picky about going to IG.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be hard to get that to work.
Yeah, that's
I think if it never went to IG, I wouldn't have a problem with that either. I'm not saying that that's definitely a place that it could and should live in and only live in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying that I feel like I could definitely see it being one of those categories that could be broken up into 2 divisions like that.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Let's see. Starju, more of a thing. Yes, he is a Dark Knight Rises fan, and so am I. I like them both. So, let's see. Anything else we got? Do they though? It's just, do they?
What about
Jessica Ferguson got good chemistry with anybody though.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like that's a cheat in a way. Like she's just so damn good.
Well, what about he and Emily Blunt? Did they have some good chemistry? And
Emily Blunt had a good chemistry in the audience. I don't know. I don't know if she had a good chemistry with him specifically.
I still haven't seen that movie yet.
Edge of Tomorrow, Live, Die, and Repeat.
Tomorrow. I was going to say Live, Die, Repeat, but I didn't want to say Live, Die, Repeat.
It is Live, Die, Repeat. It's also known as Edge of Tomorrow.
It's Edge of Tomorrow, also known as Live, Die, Repeat.
Yeah, they were good, but they weren't like.
I'm seeing your point with that. Like, it's not that they don't seem like they're believable. They're people like each other, but it's like it's not like you're like engaged with their chemistry.
Right. It's not the relationship. It's about the characters themselves. I like Cruz and I like Renee Zellweger, but the relationship's kind of like.
Do you think it's because Tom Cruise always plays like a presumptuous asshole in every role that he's in? Like that's just who his character is just like this pompous douche that will always kind of come off as like never really having ever great chemistry with the women in his life?
Could very well be. Could very well be. He just is too I think he's too focused on doing his next big stunt that he can't really pay attention to women.
Yeah, that's my read on all of Tom Cruise's character.
Now, if you can get his woman that he's involved in some kind of stunt, then maybe you'll get his attention.
Mm-hmm.
Will Sonic be a nom for an Oscar this year? Who knows?
Oscars are going to be fascinating this coming year. They're going to be the weirdest thing I think we've ever seen because of the movie pool is going to be a smaller, I believe. Plus, it's a weird time where they're including movies from a further period of time.
Let me interject here, and I almost want to go on a PLD rant, which is a lot rarer than Danny rants. But this fucking Oscar thing, like they're going to like March, February. What the fuck? Just deal with the fact that less movies and give the awards. Otherwise, like, what the fuck do you do with it? Next year, it's like, oh, well, who won the 2021 Oscars? Well, was it a film in 2020? Was it a film in 2021? It's all kinds of fucked up. How do you do it? If they're the 2022 Oscars, you got to go from like March to fuck that shit. Keep in your year. I don't care if there's 5 films released that year. That's the year the Oscars are for. It's not for this kind of extra thing. And I don't even need the 20 seconds. I yield my time, suck my whatever it is that person said in that, I don't know, you say that stream video? Or is there somebody talking about like police brutality? So I yield my time, suck my dick.
Suck my dick, I yield my time.
That's what I'm saying here for that.
No, I think it's fuck you, I yield my time, suck my dick. Whatever.
Enough. Choke on my dick. Something like that. That's what we're going to go with. We're doing that. That's what I'm saying at that point. Fuck the Oscars doing that shit. That's bullshit.
I agree. I would rather them to stick to their regular time period and have less movies to choose from, because then some movies that normally wouldn't get to shine are going to get to shine, and that will help that, you know, those creators and things like that. I don't think that's a bad thing. So just keep it the regular time. We'll have interesting Oscars. It won't mess up Ben for movie release date stuff when he does.
Yes. It's adding Schmodown stuff. The questions are
It's
going
gonna
to
affect Schmodown stuff. That's what really matters here. Is it gonna affect the Schmodown negatively? Then we shouldn't.
It's just ridiculous.
Let's all start a letter campaign to the Oscars. Hey,
There
there's
you
something called Schmodown. You're gonna mess it up for us. Please don't.
Also, hot / also maybe not so hot take. I enjoyed Sonic. I thought Sonic was fun.
That's fun. Yeah,
I liked Sonic. I think it was cute. But watching my son literally be like this every time the song was like going so excited, like he would vibrate, like he was like standing up in the theater, just like that made me love Sonic because he was just so happy.
It was
perfectly fun. Perfect.
I'm not gonna spoil it, I guess, because it did come out this year. The ending, the mid-credit scene was so much fun for me. Like it brought me so much joy to see that mid-credit scene. It really truly did.
That's when my daughter freaked out. She was pretty good the whole time, and then that came and she freaked out. She was so excited.
I loved it. And then the end credits, I believe they either had 2 mid-credits or a mid and an end credit, I think.
Right.
And either way, both of them were fine because one of them was with Jim Carrey, and then the other one was the one that I believe that you and I are talking about.
Yeah.
And that one was the best. So I had fun with Sonic.
I did too. I had plenty of fun. Jim Carrey is Jim Carrey. It's like his best first time since like the 90s. He was actually like Jim Carrey again. It seemed like to me.
I just watched Detective Pikachu for the first time yesterday.
That one's pretty cute. That's another movie my kids lost their mind about because they love Pokemon. So
I thought it was cute.
It's
yes, Starger. Yes, Major League from the 1980s. Probably might be my favorite 80s comedy. So good. So good.
Did you go back to look for that one?
No, that was just the next one in the line. They're answering our previous questions. That's why we get to that. What's your favorite tagline? I don't know. What do you mean?
I'm not good at taglines.
Movie tagline? Is
if
it
people
like,
say the tagline, I'm good at guessing the movie, but not the other way around.
The episode, cinematic stuff. I don't know what you want to do. Let us know exactly what you mean by that. Let's see. Oh, other 80s. Yes, Spaceballs was good. Night Shift, Used Cars, Ghostbusters. Yes, all those are good. Longest Time is that a good song? Yes. Okay. Let's see. Oh, interesting.
Ooh.
We should make guesses.
I wouldn't be able to guess because I don't feel that much.
Can't guess she's always a woman. Can't guess that.
What?
Maybe and so go. No, can't be and so goes. That's too. I don't know. I'll have to think on that.
Put it in the general chat, Paul. Gee,
I am.
Show off.
Well, a show off? I'm not a show off. That's what I was saying. Is that what you mean by that, Robert? Because that cinematics are my favorite tagline.
That's what they were trying to do, Robert. We see what you're doing. It's fine.
We see you.
I love that. See, Malcolm sees you too. See, exactly. We all know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anything back from Streamlabs?
Streamlabs? Nope.
Okay.
So are we good?
I guess we're there. Yes. Yeah, there you go. There you go. See, we knew what you were doing, Robert.
Correct.
I'll give you a shout out.
You, Robert.
Cinefanatics on Tuesday nights, good stuff. And we love the Cinefanatics here on C2A. So I wish I could ever watch live on that. It's always like the worst time for me because I go to work like 15 minutes after it begins. I don't settle down into it until by the time I settle down into it, it's over. I hate it. But go see them. Go subscribe to them.
Go watch it.
We love them.
Yes.
I am there watching. However, I'm usually like doing dishes or something at the same time. So I'm not as active in the chat, but I promise you guys, I am there.
I always give you a thumbs up. I always do kind of here. So I always go back and watch later. So anyway.
Me too.
That's it.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us this Sunday night. It's been a fun show. We had so much fun to talk about, plus a lot of speculating, which is always fun. So I'm glad we got a chance to do that. And Danielle, where can people find you online?
What's up, y'all? You know me. You can find me on Twitter at DannyJoy, DANIEEJOY. You can also find me here on the Call to Action Network every Monday with my favorite co-host, Mr. Paul Tenusia, right down there. Doing a show called Chill to Action, where we hang out with Schmodown members of the family, competitors, all of that good stuff. And just shoot the shit and talk. So come and hang out with that. Yay!
Perfect. And PLD, where can people find you?
At Paul_Denuzio on Twitter. You can find me again with Danny Joy at Chill to Action every week. Also, you can find me on Class Action, show on the Action Industries YouTube channel on every Saturday generally. Sometimes we do a live Sunday show. We will be doing a live show with Ben Bateman next month or so. We're doing the top 5 Tony Scott movies, which I'm looking forward to doing. And you can also find me on PLD Projects, where I've been doing my show out V. I'm also getting closer and closer to starting the Harris stunts. I've been threatening it for a while. I've got a few more thumbnails I got to throw in there. I got a few more technical things to work out how I want to do it. But the Harris stunts shall start soon. I will make you love it, Harris, as much as I do. Probably not possible, but I'll at least give it my
good try.
Or lose his breath trying.
Exactly. I'll die trying. And you can find me behind a Jameson bottle. So there you go. And always play PLD.
Perfect. And you can find And you can find me at KelseyKins90 on Twitter and Instagram. I'm also on the Call to Action Podcast Instagram, so you can interact with me there. I will be posting more of those fun videos on there probably, because why not? So because they were a lot of fun to make. TeePublic, we've got merch, so please check it out. You can get face masks. I noticed there's now 2 designs of face masks, so you can broaden your horizons with your face mask designs. That's pretty cool. And I have my own YouTube channel. Just search Kelsey Kirkland and click on my face. Please subscribe. We just did a ladies' night on there. That was a lot of fun. So if you missed that, please go back and rewatch it. It was very diverse subject matter, to say the least. But it was fun. It was a lot of fun. And so keep an eye out on my channel for future ladies' nights we may do, and I will do some of my own projects as well. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, guys, and we'll see you later.
Next time. Love you guys.
Bye, everyone.